Wow. Okay. Okay. That was a hiccup on my part. Okay, so you guys didn't hear a word I just said a second ago. But I got it fixed. So, hi. So yeah, I got another beer for you guys today. If you guys didn't know what I just said before when my mic wasn't working. Oh, yeah, we got one from Taxman Brewing Company over in Bargersville, Indiana. It's a nice little Belgian quad that I'm excited. I left this thing out room temperature around like 2 hours ago. So I'm excited to kind of see what this guy tastes like room temperature. But before we get into anything here, let's talk about Taxman really quick. So, what's their story? I always like talking about a little bit about the brewers before I drink their beer. So, Taxman Brewing Company is a culmination of passion for beer, food, travel, and friendship, alongside a desire to be actively involved in our local community. Our story begins in Belgium, a country the size of New Jersey that boasts several thousands different beers and hundreds of community-based breweries. It was in Belgium that three of our founders met and began extensively researching a wide variety of local beer options in Belgium. We fell in love with the depth of flavor imparted by the unique strains of yeast used to ferment the beer, and they named the brewery Taxman because tax consulting work took us to Belgium, and three of the Taxman's founders were, in fact, tax professionals. So, yeah, that's a pretty cool, interesting way to kind of figure out the name of a brewery. So, our skull and bow tie logo is inspired by Benjamin Franklin quote, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes." We selected the town of Bargersville for a home of our brewery because it reminded us of small brewery towns we visited in Europe. Taxman brews a wide range of Belgian-inspired ales, American farmhouse ales, Midwest saisons, and an extensive cellar program producing wine and spirit aging beers as well as sour, wild, and funky ales. Yeah, and it says that they release up to 50 different varieties of different kind of beers, so that's pretty cool. I like that. I definitely like that. So, let's see what else we can find out about this beer. I think that's pretty much it. I think it's time for us just to crack into this damn guy. So, why don't we do that? I'm going to be drinking out of my untapped tulip glass just because this is a Belgian quad. And I like kind of having more sophisticated glasses, like tulip glasses, because it kind of is an overall depth and flavor that gives you. It's really well balanced. So, let's crack this guy open. Fine, let's see what we're getting on the smell here. I'm expecting a lot of like dark fruits, maybe like a toffee or a caramel kind of note on here. It's going to be a stronger kind of beer. I'm definitely excited for that one. Oh yeah, getting like strong, like maybe fig or plum kind of notes. What's up, Rex? How you doing, man? Oh yeah, definitely a lot of dark fruit notes in this. Definitely has like a kind of like a herbal kind of note to it as well. But yeah, that smells pretty damn delicious. So let's pour this guy into a can and drink this goddamn thing. So, let's do it. Oh yeah, look at that dark kind of color to it. Not that quite of a color of like a stout or a porter, but definitely has a nice color to it. Kind of has like a caramel kind of color on the pour. Of course, you could see in the head, kind of reminds you of a stout. But then you look at, it has those deep kind of colors of maybe like a plum. It has like kind of like a purplish black kind of color to it. But definitely getting a lot of strong caramel toffee, plus like a lot of dark fruits, maybe like plum or fig on there. I'm not sure which one it is. But definitely getting some specific kind of yeasty, kind of bready notes on the smell as well. So without further ado, let's try this guy. So cheers, everybody. Oh yeah. Wow, that's good. Right up front, get a strong, very, very strong flavor of plum. And like kind of like, I'm thinking it's more like a toffee kind of flavor, to be honest. So it's like a plum and toffee, and then kind of getting the barrel aging kind of process in that they used with this one. Kind of getting that like oaky kind of aftertones with like there's definitely a booziness to this. The 10%, and it's leaving at room temperature. It's not going to be, to me, these kind of beers aren't meant to be drank cold. So definitely brings out more like the in-depth flavors of like the darker fruits, the caramels, toffees, the oaky, bourbon-y kind of flavors you would get from a bourbon barrel-aged beer. But yeah, this is fantastic so far. Definitely has like a really velvety, smooth mouthfeel in it. But I'm loving that strong note of like, I'm thinking it's a plum. It definitely reminds me of a plum. And it's like, it reminds me of like, if you like dipped some plum in like a caramel or a toffee and ate it, and then kind of had like an oaky kind of like, I don't want to say charcoal kind of flavor, but it's like that roasted kind of wood note in there as well. It's a very unique, definitely a kind of beer that the U.S. really isn't that really used to, I would say, because there's Belgian quads, there's Belgian triples all over the place, but going into those unique brewing styles of actually making it the correct way, you don't see that often. And this is definitely done in a way that's just absolutely delicious. I'm a big fan. So, after I've drank and talked about it a little bit, let's see what exactly this beer is about with a little description here. So, to be a Taxman Brewing fan requires steadfast dedication and patience. Some of their most prized beers, like today's Bourbon Barrel Qualified, comes out just once a year in teeny tiny batches. So, if the brew was anything less than spectacular, I'd wonder why craft drinkers in beer-soaked Midwest scramble to snatch up every last can within days of its release. But one sip makes it clear it's like this silky toffee flavored delight is worth the wait. I don't know why it was all blurry for me. What the hell? So to craft this covered barrel aged edition, the brewers take their GABF metal draft qualified quadruple ale and aged it in hand selected freshly emptied bourbon barrels for up to 6 months. The barrel aging wraps the quad's dark plum and fig notes in a caramelly whiskey and oaky vanilla. Sweet complexity makes this 10% ABV feel just soft and warming. Okay, so I was kind of on there when it comes to a little bit of like the fig and plum notes and everything, but I like that kind of. So they're saying it's more like a caramel vanilla. I'm definitely getting a lot of that toffee in there though, so but it's delicious. I kind of wish they would have told, if they kind of put on their description, what kind of bourbon barrels it was aged in, because like sometimes you get breweries that kind of put out there that these were aged in like Maker's Mark barrels or like any kind of different kind of bourbon out there. They usually put on there that what kind of barrels it was aged in, so you can kind of get an idea of maybe if you've had that bourbon before and you know what it tastes like, you can kind of watch out for some of the notes from that. But that doesn't really bother me that much to where they didn't name it. But overall, this one's very, very delicious. Definitely one of the boozier ones that I've had, but in a good way, because you get that warm kind of feeling down your throat after you take a sip of it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love this one. So definitely, like after you drink more of it, kind of gets like a little like a chocolatey kind of milk chocolatey kind of notes to it as well, with like kind of like, I don't know, with the spices and the dark fruits, kind of gives me like a milk chocolate kind of feel. I don't know, but it's overall very, very delicious. So let's see. Like I said before, Bourbon Barrel Qualified is a 10% ABV with 20 IBUs and with over 1,736 ratings on Untapped. This guy has an average rating of 4.1 on the dot on Untapped, which is pretty damn high, if I would say. Let's see what people rated this one. So somebody gave it a 3.5, 3.5, 3.75, 4. Realized I didn't check in some of these, so doing what some people do and just start checking in beers that they've already drank, trying to get rid of the cans. Somebody gave it a 4.5. Somebody gave it a 1. So I'm guessing this is their first time trying that kind of beer. But that's okay. Somebody else gave it a 4. Let's see. didn't rate it there, but it said it's a good quad. Bourbon barrel makes it better, of course. Aging anything in bourbon barrels just makes it that much greater, in my opinion. Somebody gave it a 4.5, 4.5, 4. Is that a 4.25? Saying it's smooth, 100%. Let's see. This guy gave it a 3.5. Nice quad. Good dark fruit, toffee, and vanilla flavors. So yeah, overall, really, really solid reviews on this. But I'm a big fan of this one. I really am. I'm a big fan of Belgian quads and triples in general, just because it's something different that when it comes to a flavor palette of a beer. But overall, the flavors are nice. They're deep. They're rich. Not to that point of a stout yet, but it's just overall very, very delicious. So if you're into Belgian quads, I'd highly recommend this one from Taxman. And you just have to kind of keep an eye out if you're in the Indiana area kind of situation. You might be able to find some of their stuff in Indianapolis, or if you know where Taxman is, head over to their brewery and keep an eye out for when they release this Belgian trip quad, because when was mine canned? Mine was canned on October 30th, 2020. So kind of gives you an idea of this is like a fall release kind of beer. But overall, very, very good. So let's see. Let's start going down the ratings here, because it's getting towards that time. So can art. I really like the can art to this one, especially how the guy with the skull it's because it's a quote from Benjamin Franklin and all that. So that's really cool. Kind of has that steampunk kind of vibe as well. I don't know, it looks like there's a safe door behind there, and just kind of having like the lock and key kind of thing where they're keeping this recipe under lock and key, and it's just a really clean can art in my opinion. If only it was a bigger glass or bottle, but whatever. I'm not gonna be one to complain about that, but knowing that it's from like a vault inspired kind of bourbon barrel aging process, and it's really cool. It's definitely, I would say this is one of the more rare ones from Taxman. So if you can get your hands on this one, I would definitely recommend getting it if you're into Belgian quads, because if you like the taste of bourbon, you like kind of a nice deeper beer, yeah, this one's gonna be for you. So let's see, if I got this beer in a flight at Taxman, would I get another one? Without a doubt, yes. I love the dark fruit notes in there. I love the toffee kind of caramel vanilla note you get there. Definitely that warmth of like the bourbon note in there as well is always really good. Whenever there's bourbon involved, it always makes a beer better in my opinion. So kind of gives it like a nice booziness, a nice kind of mouthfeel, as well as kind of having that syrupy thick kind of mouthfeel. Overall, really, really delicious beer. I'm really impressed with this one. For being the first one I've had from Taxman, their game has been stepped up tenfold, because this one is fantastic. So I would definitely get one of these when it comes to, if I got this in a flight. I'd prefer, most likely, if I ever went to Taxman and got this in a flight, it'd probably be during the fall or maybe like early winter. So weather would be appropriate for that, to where it's kind of cooler out. Definitely something to warm you up in colder days. I wouldn't say this is a summer beer, but any kind of beer is a summer beer to me, just because I can drink any kind of beer any time of year practically. So let's see what my final rating on this guy is going to be. So 10%, has 20 IBUs, which really doesn't have much of a bitterness to me. So that's why I can see why it being a low IBU rating. Average of 4.1 on Untapped. Really enjoy the flavors. This is definitely one of the better Belgian quads I've ever had. The flavors are hit you in the face, explosive. It's just the bourbon note is just at the perfect amount to where it's not overpowering. Having it at room temperature is just giving more of those deep notes of the beer to kind of speak to you a little bit. So this is a fantastic beer. Very, very fantastic. Of course, if you're looking for other stuff from Taxman, you can find them on Tavour. I don't think I need to explain what Tavour is by now. You guys all know. It's a beer subscription / beer delivery service, and you just have to go on the app and try to figure out if you can get beers from that app delivered to you through them. And once in a while, I think you'll find some Taxman stuff from them, so just got to keep an eye out. But you have a bunch of different varieties of beer you can pick from with them, and I've never been disappointed with the selection they offer. So let's see. What is the final rating going to be? 4.1 on Untappd. Really like what I'm getting. Definitely one of the better Belgian quads. I'm going to give this one a solid 8.25, I think. 8.25 out of 10. Really, really delicious. I would definitely recommend to anybody in here, if you're into a Belgian quad, if you're into those Belgian style ales, this one might be for you. If you're not a bourbon fan, if you don't like the taste of bourbon or kind of have that alcohol taste to it or the boozy taste, this one you want to keep off your radar because it definitely has that significant bourbon note to it along with the slight booziness. But if all those are something you're looking for in a nice beer, this is one that I would definitely keep my eye out for. 100%. 100%. So, guys, I think that is pretty much it. Oh, I didn't give this can art a freaking rating yet. Ha ha ha. So, what am I going to give this can art? I just love the skull, the vault, and the keys and stuff. Kind of give me like a steampunky kind of vibe. I know you heard me say that earlier. But I'd definitely give this a solid 4.5 out of 5 on can art. Really cool. Definitely one that... This one I feel like it's going to be difficult to save the art on this one. I might still be able to. Just because the label's not going up to like the crease on the top. So, yeah. I think I'll definitely keep my hands on this can. Just because the art's really cool. But, other than that, I think that's pretty much it, guys. We got the rating of the beer. We got the rating of the can art. Told you what I'm tasting out of this. And... yeah, Kentucky, man. Some good Belgian ales are just... they hit the spot sometimes. They really do. I don't know. There's something about like getting the whole change from like an IPA or a sour or a stout and getting a good Belgian quad or a triple or a Doppelbock. It's a great change of pace when it comes to different flavors in a beer. So other than that, that is what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. I greatly appreciate all of you. And if you like what you see and you're new to the channel, this is your first video watching, thank you for coming over and checking me out. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, along with that notification bell. But, of course, the guys hanging out, make sure to hit that like button before you guys leave. I know you guys are all busy guys, probably watching on your phones and all that stuff. But that's okay. You guys are awesome. Everybody in chat, the regulars, Duchess, Derek, Kentucky. You guys are awesome. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. If you're watching the replay as well, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch another review. If you have any questions, you guys can always hit me up on YouTube or hit me up on Untappd. My link to my profile is down in the description below. I would love to see what other people are drinking as well, so shoot me a friend request on there if you use it. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Fantastic evening. Hope your guys' Tuesday just is the best it can be. And, yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. So, if you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And cheers, everybody.